Stellar Blade: Blood Rain is an upcoming action-adventure game developed and published by Shift Up. It is a direct sequel to Stellar Blade 2024. It was announced during Summer Games Fest 2026 with a reveal trailer. It will be self-published, unlike the first game, which was published as a PlayStation title and later ported to PC. It currently does not have a release date. It follows the protagonist Evie and is set sometime after the events of the first game. As of May 2026, the game was reported to still be in early stages of development. Gameplay: Blood Rain is a third-person action-adventure and hack-and-slash. The game features fast-paced, close-quarters combat focused around punching enemies with a set of gauntlets. Later in the game, more weapons and skills are unlocked, including a sword. Combat emphasizes quick timing for dodging and countering enemy attacks, as well as quick-time events, similar to the first game. Evie will have a number of unlockable outfits. Stellar Blade: Blood Rain takes places in an apocalyptic sci-fi urban environment. Shift Up has teased a location based on Chongqing, China. Evie is a member of a special force unit tasked with tracking down the group behind a terrorist attack on the city. A sequel to Stellar Blade was teased shortly after the original game's release for the PlayStation 5, with Shift Up announcing plans to expand the game into a franchise in June 2024. Investor relations reports, published in May 2025, further detailed an organization chart for the sequel's development team, planned to release sometime before 2027. In May 2026, Shift Up announced in an earnings presentation that it would be shifting away from publishing under PlayStation in favor of self-publishing for the sequel in order to reach a broad global audience from day one. The game was officially announced under the title Stellar Blade: Blood Rain at the Summer Game Fest on the 5th of June 2026. In an interview published on the 6th of March 2026, game director Kim Hyung-tae said the art direction was mostly finalized, but a lot more work was still needed on the second half of the story and depth of combat. Capcom's reimagined Resident Evil Veronica follows Claire Redfield's search for her brother Chris, while maintaining the core setup of the 2000 original, including the infiltration of an Umbrella facility, capture on Rockfort Island, and the eventual Antarctic base showdown. The narrative is being restructured to modernize character arcs and address original plot inconsistencies. Core story updates and revisions expanded sibling dynamics. Producers noted that the emotional bond and psychological parallel between Claire and Chris Redfield will form a deeper thematic core, contrasting more sharply with the Ashford family's twisted twin dynamics. Adjusted intro and captivity. Promotional trailers tease a reworked sequence in the Paris facility where Claire is cornered, with hints pointing to expanded involvement or appearances by Umbrella operative Hunk rather than just standard security forces. Deeper psychological horror for the Ashfords. Capcom aims to recontextualize Alfred and Alexia Ashford, moving away from dated caricatures to lean deeper into the dark psychological conditions driving the family's legacy and the code. Veronica Project. Elevated presence of Albert Wesker. Wesker's pursuit of the Veronica virus and his vendetta against Chris and the Umbrella remnants receive a more vital, fleshed-out narrative framing throughout the timeline. Footage showed an unnamed female character being shown around a Parisian apartment, The footage concludes with the reveal that this is none other than Claire Redfield, and this is a reimagined take on the classic Code Veronica story, Resident Evil. Code Veronica originally launched in 2000 for the Sega Dreamcast. It's not a mainline numbered entry in the series, but it remains beloved by fans and considered a core part of the franchise's story. Its narrative takes place around the same time as Resident Evil 3, but instead features Claire and Chris Redfield on a remote prison island, and then in Antarctica. And yes, fan favorite Batty Wesker is also involved. To catch up on all the announcements from tonight, be sure to check out the Last One's roundup of everything announced during Summer Game Fest 2026.
Claire Redfield.
Rayman Legends Retold retains the side-scrolling platform gameplay of Rayman Legends, while rebuilding the presentation with 3D visuals in the Snowdrop engine. The game supports up to 4-player local cooperative play, with Rayman, Globox, Grand Minimus, and Barbara returning as playable characters. The remake adds new levels, a new 6th realm, 4 new musical stages, dragon riding sequences, the return of the Cave of Bad Dreams, and Cave of Trials challenges. Kung Foot, the football-based local multiplayer mode from the original game, returns with revised controls, power-ups, and customizable rules. Game Informer described the dragon riding stages as new 3D sequences that connect the end of one world to the beginning of another, similar to Rayman Origins. The game is set in the Glade of Dreams, where Rayman, Globox, Barbara, Grand Minimus, and Murphy travel across different realms after a new villain spreads chaos through the world. Unlike the original Rayman Legends, the remake includes a new story, fully voiced cinematics, and expanded character interactions. Rayman Legends Retold is co-developed by Ubisoft Milan and Ubisoft Montpellier. Brand producer Loic Gunan said the remake was intended to retell Rayman Legends for a new generation, expand the lore and world logic of the series, and provide a foundation for the future of the Rayman franchise. Italian producer Alessandro Arntemucci said Rayman Legends was chosen because of its popularity, tight gameplay, and variety of content. The soundtrack includes new music by original Rayman Legends composers Christophe Herral and Grant Kirkhope. Ubisoft Milan production director Alessandro Arntemucci said Kirkhope's musical style suited the humorous tone of Rayman, while animation director Marco Renzo said Kirkhope worked with Herral on new compositions for the remake. The remake also introduces full voice acting, including David Gassman as Rayman and Billy West as Murphy, both reprising their roles from Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. Rayman Legends was originally announced as a Wii U console exclusive in 2013. Mistfall Hunter is a dark fantasy PvPvE extraction action RPG developed by Bellring Games. Reviews are currently mixed, roughly 66% positive on Steam. Players praise its atmospheric dark fantasy world, responsive melee combat, and forgiving death mechanics, but criticize its limited launch content, forced trio queues on later maps, and awkward monetization. Set in a dark fantasy Nordic world, the story of Mistfall Hunter follows a catastrophic war between native gods and outer cosmic deities. When the divine beings fell, their overflowing golden blood spawned a corrupting fog called the Gilden Mist, or Gilden Mist, that drives all living things into madness and monstrous mutations. Players take on the role of resurrected guild hunters brought back by Dew, a fragmented reincarnation of the Fate Goddess, to fight monsters, recover divine blood, and mend the shattered web of fate. In the wake of an epic war between gods and outer gods, all deities have fallen. Their blood has turned into the Gilden Mist, a corrosive force that sweeps across the land, warping the souls of the living and driving them to madness and monstrous mutations. From the shadows steps Dew, a mysterious girl with the power to resurrect fallen heroes and grant them immortal bodies. Under Dew's guidance, these reborn champions, known as guild hunters, shall enter into the heart of peril and harvest gildenized creatures' Gilden blood for one sacred purpose: to mend the shattered web of fate and rekindle hope in a world on the brink of oblivion. Mistfall Hunter is a third-person action PvPvE extraction RPG. Combines skills, talents, and gear for each class in thrilling combat. Whether you team up or go solo, one thing remains certain: only by fighting your way through can you return with a full haul.
I will be the light that pierces the endless night.